Guaranteed transfer and reverse transfer programs are absolutely important for states to adopt. By doing so, you're providing valuable services to your students with regard to transfer, advising, preparedness, making most of that student's dollar. You're also able to provide for a solid workforce. For example, if you have articulated programs in areas such as nursing or education or engineering or cybersecurity for that matter, you're not only articulating programs for ease of academic transfer, but you're also providing a service for the workforce. So everyone's getting something out of a guaranteed program, an articulated transfer. Not just the student with ease of transfer, but also the state with a well-prepared workforce. Guaranteed transfer and articulation programs have a tremendous positive effect on student persistence and completion. Many years ago, when students were following in academic programs where they weren't certain on how they would transfer, on whether or not they were taking the right course, if they needed to stop out, if a catalog had changed, whether or not they're taking something towards a specific certification depending upon their program of study. So all we can do as a state by articulating these programs and having guaranteed admission is providing a service to students to make certain that they know what they're taking in a timely fashion and can complete when they are ready to complete. One of the unintended positive benefits of guaranteed transfer admission in our articulated programs is providing advising across the board to all audiences and all students, regardless of where you're transferring from, where you've attended, socioeconomic background, what have you. Often students are following advising paths, whether they're directly online or working with an advisor. And when you're working with students that are coming from completely different backgrounds, whether it's underrepresented students, underserved students, or students at majority institutions, whatever the situation may be, if they're all following the same academic path and foundation and courses towards a degree, they're all following the exact same program and information. So what we have done is we have leveled the playing field when it comes to transfer and articulation by having guaranteed articulated programs and transfer and reverse transfer. All students following all the exact same guidelines. In Maryland, we have a variety of tools and systems and mechanisms in place for transfer students to make certain and to feel confident that the state is doing what it can to make certain that they are prepared. For example, we have ARTSYS, our online articulated transfer credit database. It is an online service. Students can sit down with their advisor and go over ARTSYS. They can also do it in the middle of the night if they can't sleep or if they're studying and they want to find out what courses they need toward degree completion. All of the public institutions in the state of Maryland participate, and some of the private institutions participate. It provides for course-by-course articulation as well as what we call RTPs, or recommended transfer programs. So students can go online, select one institution. I'm transferring to another institution, largely from community college to the four-year institution, and they can chart their course of study on what they need to take and what are the requirements. So that's a huge tool here in the state of Maryland. Other mechanisms we have in place are faculty discipline groups where the 2-year and 4-year faculty meet. We have other groups where advisors from institutions are meeting together, as well as presidents and provosts and chief academic folks. So we have a variety of levels of people that are speaking with regard to transfer so that students can feel confident that we are constantly not only looking at our policies, but looking at our programs from course to course to outcomes based to make certain students have a good solid foundation for transfer and academic success. My best advice to states that are seeking to adopt guaranteed transfer and articulated programs is definitely communication. It's imperative that you're all on the same page and understanding not only what the goals are, but what many of the challenges will be. In speaking with many of my colleagues around the country, one thing that is not evident in other states that we've got in Maryland is a common general education foundation and a common base first 2 years of general ed coursework, regardless of where a student begins in our public 4-year and 2-year institutions. And that is something that I think helps us here and is something that I believe would help other states as well. Another thing that I believe is important, terribly important, is making certain that you get faculty together. Discipline, communication between the 2-year and 4-year institutions is imperative. And I've found that once you get those faculty together and they start speaking and they realize that they actually have more in common than they realize, and it's very easy for them to start to pull together the academic foundation that students would need, again, regardless of where they're starting, so that they can transfer with ease, and ensuring that you've not only provided the students a good academic foundation, but you're building a good solid workforce so it meets everyone's needs all around.